You've seen her, but what about her? And most importantly, her. No? Well, this is the boop boop doo look into one of the most famous child stars you've likely never heard of, Esther Lee Jones, and how she became known as the grandmother of Betty Boop. So let's set the scene for a second. It was 1923 in the roaring 20s. Vaudeville was all the rage. Flapper dancers were the it girls. And in Chicago, a 4-year-old black girl won a Charleston dance competition. Wait, what? Esther Lee Jones at age 4 was already proving that she was born to be a star. What were you doing at that age? She was soon discovered by talent manager Lou Bolton, who booked her to perform the Charleston and acrobatic acts under the name Lil Esther or Little Esther, but soon garnered the nickname Baby Esther by audiences, because she quite literally was a baby. Now, Lil Esther was greatly influenced by a predecessor of her time, the late Florence Mills, who was one of the leading performers of the Jazz Age and Harlem Renaissance. It was even said that Lil Esther was a direct imitation of Florence, but what made Little Esther unique, besides being literally a child, was that she did this unique scatting. Though scatting was becoming popular at that time with black jazz artists, Lil Esther made it her own by over-pronunciating the B's and the D's. She was gaining a lot of popularity, so Lou Bolton booked her on a tour through Europe. Lil Esther at age 12 was taking the stages of France and was seen as a miniature Josephine Baker. In fact, Ms. Baker even presented Lil Esther with a box of candy before one of her shows. Now let's get back to America, more specifically Hollywood. New technology was improving a newer form of entertainment, cartoons. And at the helm of that was Max Fleischer, who pioneered the rotoscoping technique, had one of the first sound-on-film cartoons, and was the creator of that follow the bouncy ball technique that you see in sing-alongs. But Fleischer, who teamed up with Paramount Pictures, had a major competitor. You might have heard of him. In 1928, the Disney company came out with Steamboat Willie, thus introducing Mickey Mouse to the world, who I can now proudly show now that he's in the public domain. Fleischer and Paramount's main cartoon at the time was Coco the Clown, but was he going to compete with Mickey? It was a no-no for Coco. So they came up with a dog and named him Bimbo, but it still wasn't catching on, so they decided to give that dog a sidekick. On August 9th, 1930, Betty Boop made her screen debut as a sexy dog and stayed a dog in numerous variations until she finally got her womanly form in Masquerade. Now you're probably wondering at this point, what the heck does Lil Esther, who is 12 years old eating chocolate with Josephine Baker in Paris, have to do with any of this? The answer